Hear, give ear unto the proceedings of the High Court of the National Honor Society for Secondary Schools, presided over by the Maplewood Richmond Heights chapter, the Torch. Let the candidates for induction now appear. Jeremiah Ayers, Elijah Bahoon, Nathaniel Boyle, Caleb Burton, Katie Corcoran, Madeline Dietrich, Luke Goodman DeLeonardis, Jaden Garno, Garrick Hofer, Grace Horton, Demila Hearn, Alex Jurassic, Aaron Catan, Ava Caston, David Maloney, Neil Maxwell, Noah May, Nathan McCandless, Salvador Miano, Gabriella Miller, Ella Muni, Connor Palubiak, Samantha Seamer, Levi Spencer, Sylvia Stallman, Amelia Swear, Avery Swith, Owen Welsh, and Kasai Horney, sorry, have been summoned to the High Court of the National Honor Society. You may be seated.
Hear the history of the National Honor Society. Since 1776, colleges and universities have been recognized superior scholarship by election to Phi Beta Kappa. Meanwhile, the high schools contented themselves with publishing lists of honor students or similar recognition. The first honor society for high school students was organized in Chicago. Other groups followed. By 1920, most of these individual groups were joined into one organization known as National Honor Society for Secondary Schools. There are now thousands of chapters. Each has its individual name and its own ceremonies and customs, but the basis for election to membership is the same for all, and the pin is national. To be eligible, sophomores and juniors must have a 3.5 grade point average, exhibit outstanding leadership, character, and willingness to serve. Since 1936, the Torch chapter of Maplewood Richmond Heights High School has inducted over 1,200 members.
We are assembled to honor those students who, in judgment of the faculty of Maplewood Richmond Heights High School, exemplify scholarship, leadership, character, and service. These qualities have been selected as worthy of recognition because they are characteristics of those who, in whatever field of life they may labor, have contributed most to welfare and progress of humanity. It is altogether fitting that the schools should recognize, first, scholarship. Scholarship means the world's search for truth, the truth which shall bring enlightenment to the world and drive forth ignorance, superstition, and prejudice. In token of the importance of scholarship to humankind, I light the blue candle. The book of Proverbs says, "Knowledge is a treasure, but practice is the key to it." Scholarship alone makes but a poor person if that one possesses not the qualities of leadership to inspire others with a desire for truth.
The crimson candle is a symbol of leadership. Leadership is the ability to stimulate others to the highest expression of themselves. I will now light the crimson candle. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. John Quincy Adams. Scholarship and leadership are wasted if noble character is not the foundation on which they are erected.
Be more concerned with your character than your reputation, because your character is what you really are, while your reputation is merely what others think you are. John Wooden. The gold candle symbolizes that high type of character which is ever noble. Character enables us to pass through the tests and trials of life. I will now light the gold candle. Character cannot be developed in ease and quiet. Only through experience of trial and suffering can the soul be strengthened, ambition inspired, and success achieved. Helen Keller.
What good is individual excellence that is not used for the good of all through service? The great Russian author Leo Tolstoy said, "The sole meaning of life is to serve humanity." The Indian social activist and leader of the national movement, Mahatma Gandhi, said, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." I will now light the green candle. The green candle honors the one who serves. And having served, may we find our whole satisfaction in knowing that the reward of a thing well done is to have done it. Martin Luther King Jr. said that anyone can be great because anyone can serve. Now 4 torches have been lit, exemplifying the 4 qualities which make a well-rounded life.
The balanced individual has the impulse to seek out the truth, the courage to face life bravely, and the desire to share experiences with those who are less fortunate. As Dr. Seuss says in his book, "Oh, the Places You'll Go," so be sure when you step with great care and great tact, and remember that life's a great balancing act. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98.75% guaranteed. Kids, you'll move mountains.
The emblem of the society is the keystone and the flaming torch. The keystone bears at its base the letters S, L, C, and S, which stand for the 4 principles of its organization: scholarship, leadership, character, and service. As the keystone is placed by the builder to hold the perfect arch in perpetual stability, so the structure of our education must be held firm and true to its purpose of life by the virtues represented in this symbol. Scholarship is the power of the mind to dispel ignorance and superstition through scientific investigation of the truth. Leadership is the power of personality that blazes the trail for humanity's upward climb. Character, the composite of all common virtues, sets the seal of righteousness upon our every endeavor, while service is the beginning and end of our education, the altar of altruism from which the blessings to humanity have been bestowed. Thus, the keystone symbolizes the high ideals of our society. The flaming torch is the emblem of our purpose, to bear forward the searching light of truth, to lead that others may follow in the light, to keep burning in our school and a high ambition for the enduring value of life, and to serve. These purposes are symbolized in the torch.
Newly chosen members of the Maplewood Richmond Heights chapter of the National Honor Society, you are to be invested with the symbol of your membership to receive the highest distinction that the school can confer. Candidates of the Maplewood Richmond Heights chapter, you have been chosen by the faculty for your scholarship, leadership, character, and service. Your obligations as members of this society are to uphold the honor of your school, your city, your state, and your country, to exalt that which is true and right, to oppose that which is false and dishonorable, and to hold aloft the flaming torch of aspiration which lights the way to higher things. Dr. Grauer, will you present the pins and certificates?
Thank you, Mrs. Roman. Candidates of the Maplewood Richmond Heights chapter, you've been chosen by the faculty for your scholarship, leadership, character, and your service. Your obligations as members of this society are to uphold the honor of your school, your city, your state, and your country, to exalt that which is true and right, and to oppose that which is false and dishonorable, and to hold aloft the flaming torch of aspiration which lights the way to higher things. says here, principal gives a short speech. Short, right. All right, so it's a privilege to welcome everybody here. It's been a while since we've been able to do this in person. And, I want to give a special shout out to Dr. Welker to start, who does it all. He's a magnificent teacher. He's a mentor to countless students here. He's an NHS staff leader. He's a sage among our distinguished faculty, an incredible dad. He's a husband, a father, a grandfather, a curriculum expert, a guide to our younger staff members. And through all this, he managed to find the time to cut his own hair. Dr. Welker is a special guy, and we all know it. His love for the students in this place is real, and I'm certain he would do anything for anyone in this audience at any time to help them in any way he could. That's just who he is. Let's recognize Dr. Welker. Thank you. And Madam Roman is also our other NHS staff leader. We thank her for her hard work and dedication to NHS. Mrs. Roman, for those of you that know her, she's one of the kindest and most caring people that you'll ever meet. She's always upbeat, she puts others' needs first, and she wants to ensure each and every student feels that they have a place here at our school. We're so fortunate to have Dr. Welker and Mrs. Roman to serve as our NHS sponsors. They both understand the value in my topic tonight, which is around unpredictable moments that make our lives extraordinary. Let's recognize Mrs. Roman at this time. Thank all of you too, all of your support, parents, friends, family, for our students. I would be remiss if I did not begin my comments by thanking the man who has made all this possible for me. To inspire the remarks I'm about to give, Mr. Lionel Richie. For those of you who don't know, Mr. Richie was a famous singer in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s from the group The Commodores. Then later, a stellar solo singing career. Probably the kids up here have no clue what I'm talking about. But you see, there's a point to this, NHS members. Years ago, I was at a principals conference in Washington, D.C. And Lionel Richie happened to be in town touring with his band. Several of the principals played hooky from an important meeting to go to that concert, and I was one of them. It was a concert that developed incredible lifelong friendships, and professional learning networks were born. These are colleagues I met who have often served our school indirectly. As I wrestled with ideas of how to improve and grow MRH High School, I would contact them. But that concert trip in Washington, D.C. to see Lionel Richie almost did not happen because I was a little afraid to go. The concert, I knew, though, had the potential to be something extraordinary that would impact me for years to come, so I went. And I'm the kind of guy, I don't like missing events that I'm supposed to be at, So I weighed my life options at that time and said, you know what, I'm going to the concert. The detour was one of the best life decisions I've ever made. The 3 new friends I made that night are 3 of my best friends. Carol from New York City, Mark from Los Angeles, William from Cleveland. I've since been present at their weddings, in their homes, in their schools, and I recently attended Carol's retirement party, and it was a priority to maintain consistent contact with them. And it all started that night. I took a risk to go to a concert from Lionel Richie. Again, these deeper friendships would not have happened if I didn't maximize the moment that presented itself to me. NHS members, what I'm talking about are these moments that will come across your lives that require a certain level of intuition, faith, karma, or whatever you want to call them. Ernie Johnson, the famous sports announcer who Dr. Welker and I love, for Inside the NBA, he calls these random moments that we all need to embrace and recognize, he calls them blackberry moments, or unpredictable moments that make our lives better. He coined the term blackberry moments after referring to a time as a youth baseball player in the left field when someone hit a ball deep into the woods. He ran after the ball, but he saw a blackberry tree with ripe blackberries on it. He ignored the ball and sat there and ate all the blackberries on that tree that night and never returned to the game. These blackberry moments will come across your lives often, and I hope you don't miss them, because I know I've missed too many. But we can train ourselves, if we're smart, which you guys are, to recognize them. It's important, NHS members, of course, you got to keep your grades up. We know that. You all got 3.5s or better. You're great students. You got to demonstrate scholarship and leadership. But it's really about how you treat other people. I believe recognizing blackberry moments along with a service mindset is what separates NHS from the other groups at our school. When you realize in your life that when you do something nice for somebody else, that two people feel better and one of them is you, that's a blackberry moment the size of Montana. Another great quality of an NHS member is to simply create a blackberry moment for someone else and do it on purpose. Whether it's hitting the send button on a supportive email or a text at the right time, or a generous gift of your time, your talent, or your treasure. You may serve as a small blackberry moment for somebody else when they really, really need it. When you start to go on the offensive to create these moments for others, it allows your personal joy to grow. I recall Dr. Welker recently telling me that we needed to give a very valuable piece of technology he and I were not currently using to an unsuspecting student who really, really needed it. Man, I thought to myself, why didn't I think of that first? Even thinking about who to gift that item to, it makes me feel better. The natural tendency for teenagers is to think of themselves first. But one of the life lessons my friend I met at the Lionel Richie concert, Mark Anderson, taught me was this. He said, when you find yourself thinking too much about your own problems, which we all do, get out and do something intentionally kind for somebody else. It's a recipe for proper perspective, and it gives you joy. In the course of doing your life, don't allow your appreciation to wane into the background of things and your actions become dull and mundane. Many of us are thinking right now in this audience what we have to do when we leave here. So busy, if I can just get to the end of the school year, I'll be good. Once I get these exams done, I'll be fine. Or when this moron stops talking, I can finally go home and get something done, right? That's what we think typically. But when we're rushed and focused solely on your to-do list, you drive right by somebody, for example, a family of four who was broken down on the side of the Big Ben last night. And I brushed it aside and thought, well, somebody else will stop. Or as a student, you miss something, a student who's struggling or sitting by themselves in the back of the cafeteria, and you don't want to seem uncool, so you just let it go. I hope that we can all come to see these blackberry moments in our lives. They only increase or intensify when you're on the lookout for them. But I can tell you, there's many things in your life that will distract you from these moments. They're going to pull you away from them. The first thing that will is your phone. My phone, too. It's hard to see anything with your nose stuck in it all day, and it's hard to embrace any essential truth when you're following multiple trends. In your lives, NHS members, newly appointed, I wish you countless blackberry moments and the growing mindset to access them readily. When others are letting them pass by, you're not. You don't want to miss them because these blackberry moments are like when the universe winks at you and says, that's what I'm talking about. The thing is, we're surrounded by these moments all the time. All of us are. They're not like Halley's Comet, that they come once every 75 years. Thankfully, blackberry moments happen when you're present enough to see them, and you can actually enjoy them. Because when you do something nice for someone else, without expecting something in return, two people feel better, and one of them is you, and you're doubly blessed. My hope is all of you can learn to be present in those awesome moments, and by doing so, you find yourself restoring your relationship with creation, and you'll see the universe be winking at you all the time. Thank you so much for listening. Let me go back. I think I moved it, so.
Candidates, would you please stand? Representing the present members of the National Honor Society, we place in your hands two priceless gifts. Our first gift has little value in itself. It is but the body of a torch. It gives forth no light, and yet without it, you can have no light. From the central flame, which symbolizes the spirit of the National Honor Society, we light this torch. And from this torch, we give to you, and through you, to future members of the Maplewood Richmond Heights chapter, the supreme gift, light. With this flame, we have touched your dead torch and made it a living thing. As we give to you, so do you pass that light onto the newly elected members of the Maplewood Richmond Heights chapter. Candidates, hear the pledge of loyalty to this organization. I accept the challenge of the lighted torch. I pledge myself to uphold the high purpose of this society, to which I have been elected, striving in every way, by word and deed, to make its ideals the ideals of my school. Will you repeat it with me? I accept the challenge of the lighted torch. I pledge myself to uphold the high purposes of this society, to which I have been elected, striving in every way, by word and deed, to make its ideals the ideals of my school. You have received the lighted torch, the symbol of aspiration, the symbol of loyalty, binding you to the faithful fulfillment of your obligations. We, the active members of the Torch chapter of National Honor Society, share our torch with you, the new members of this chapter, with the command that you treasure it and keep its light burning brightly in your school as long as it's in your possession.
Dr. Grauer, members of the faculty, family, friends, and members of the Maplewood Richmond Heights chapter, the newly elected members understand that the Constitution of the national organization recognizes 4 major objectives, and to hold them over before the school as goals towards which all strive is the purpose of this society. We will seek nothing for ourselves beyond the strengthening of our own resolve from the bond of union which this chapter establishes among us. Our aim shall be to hold before the school such motives as shall induce others to inspire to scholarly habits, to enlist in worthy service, and to lead forward in all things that shall advance the welfare of the school.
Candidates, you may extinguish out your candles and please sign your names in token of the promise you have just made.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the newest members of the Torch chapter of the National Honor Society. Pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Before we conclude tonight's ceremony, I'd like to invite our graduating seniors up to the front of the stage as a token of your high achievement and dedication to the principles of the National Honor Society. We would like to present you with these gold cords, honor cords. So I'll go ahead. A lot of our kids are playing soccer and other things tonight, so I'll call their names even if they're not here. So come on up if you're here. Sydney Agee, Eliza Agars, Kusai El Harani, Sarah Andes, Olivia Armstrong, Eleanor Augie, Josiah Ayers, Catherine Barron, Daniel Clausen, Jackson Corcoran, Emma Court, Jacob Cummings, Ari Daniels, Kyle Smith, Clarice Gilbano, James Granger, Anaya Gregory, Ragad Hamadi, Abir, I'm going to mess it up, Abir, Haruddin, Deja Jones, Cal Kohler, Clara Levy, David Marino, William Matz, Michelle Ryan, Abigail Stone, and Frankie Teague. And Stella Reed. Good save. Oh, that was lucky. Before everybody gives them a round of applause, I do want to point something out here, that these seniors have been through a lot, as we all have. And they didn't get the traditional National Honor Society, nor did they get the traditional high school experience. But I do have to say, I am extremely proud of these kids. They really worked hard. They did their very best to do what they could. And I'm telling you, they're going to be something special. Once they're going to get through all this, and they're going to change the world for us. So a round of applause for these seniors. All right, Sarah. Oh, there you go.
Let the keystone be dissolved, and as we go forth, may we ever remember to keep our flames burning, so that we may light the way for others who are to follow.